Testing, testing, one, two, three. Do you read me? Is this thing on? Hey Eric, how you doing? You can hear the music now as well? Let me turn it up a little bit just in case. Cool, cool. Eric, I'll be helping the new player get set up. They'd created a D&D Beyond account last night, so that's good, and I believe they already have a Roll20 account. Can you send them, or can I send them a link for the campaign on D&D, or is that something only you can? Because I can see the link when I look at it. I'm wondering, I guess it doesn't matter. You will? Okay. If you could send her the links for, Roll20 and whatnot, and then I'll help her get all, that and the Beyond 20 and help her get her character set up on D&D Beyond because she's never used it before. It'll be fun. Hey, Aduzo. Welcome, welcome. Sorry about that, everyone. Just kind of doing a little bit of side questing really quick. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Mac. It is time for the Mapmaker Monday stream. Every Monday, we host a live map making session where you can tune in and watch me build a map in real time. But during that session, you can ask questions, give us suggestions and feedback on your experience with Dungeon Alchemist. Maybe you found a bug or have an idea for improving Dungeon Alchemist as a whole. If you have any questions during the stream is hosted AMA format, which means ask me anything. So you can ask questions and get guidance in real time. Hey, Jim. I know. We're going to flip over to the camera. My camera was giving me buggy, gunky problems. I had to unplug it and plug it back in. It was like lagging. Sorry, I'm like kind of... Right as I started the stream, my mic crashed and my camera crashed. I got to figure this out. Anyway, let's try this. Okay, it should work now. Yep. Okay, we are good. So, welcome back, everyone. We've got Atlam, we've got Eric, we've got Rev, we've got Aduzo. Who else we've got here today? Let's take a look. Trying to make sure all the streams are working. It looks like Steam is up. Refreshing TikTok. TikTok is live. We're good there. Hey, TikTok, I see your chat. So if you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, let me know. So just for anyone tuning in who may be new here, this map is what we've been working on the Mapmaker Monday stream. We get about an hour or so a week of progress on this. The map is currently 85 by 82. It's quite large. I don't know if we'll be finishing the cemetery today. Probably the pauper graves for sure, but I don't know if we'll be finishing it. We still have this whole section. So the map is quite large, and it started in this corner here, which is an entry area to this massive ancient cemetery complex. Lovely little pond, hedges, fencing. As you enter the cemetery, you have, some generic kind of medium, quality graves. You have a cathedral where they host the funerals, massive bell tower, lovely garden around it, parking structure. So two-story building, multi-story building is possible by hand. Like this is built by hand in the current version of Dungeon Alchemist that's available to anyone. But it requires some know-how to do it. The story generation with the room tool will be available in our next update, which is launching sometime in this quarter, most likely. So before the end of June. Sorry about that, Eric. I appreciate it, though. But as you can see, there is quite a bit to this complex, and this entire area was built by hand. I don't really like relying on the our AI generation tools, the proc gen tools. And when I say AI, by the way, we use procedural generation, not generative AI. So it's more like last gen AI. At no time do we ever, or in the past or future, have we ever used public data such as maps, art, or trained our AI on any public data or art. So it's all trained internally by our own devs on our own maps, and all the assets that come stock in DA are made by our own team of artists. Oh, you use which one? This one right here? Or this one? Both are good. Yeah. Eric, I was watching your stream the other day and lurking, and you looked so tired, man. Have you been getting rest lately? Had bad allergies? Callie Psych asked, hey, Devin, thank you for the hearts. Much appreciated. Where did Callie Psych ask that? Where am I seeing this? Why didn't I see their message? Oh, YouTube? Oh, you know what? The multi-stream chat is frozen. 1 second. Sorry about that, Callie. I'm refreshing the multi-stream chat. Should be good now. The statues, most of them are from the workshop. Some of them are stock. If you look here, like these are... Basically, I went on the workshop and I went to browse assets right here under the Steam Workshop tab. Oops, missed the click. And I went to browse collections. And I believe there's a statue collection in here I got. It was uploaded by Asmodeus. There's several of them. So Dallas RT is Asmodeus. He's one of our moderators in our community. Hey, thank you, Devin. I appreciate the love. Hey, Mateus, welcome back. How you doing today? So we're multi-streaming right now on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Steam, all of these platforms simultaneously. So I'm watching lots of different chats. So if it takes me a moment to respond to you, I apologize. But yeah, you can click on these collections, download them as a whole, and like a single download, and it'll download them in a batch, which is awesome. Wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. But to me, they're like the saints, you know, the different people who like maybe were priests, priestess, paladins, you know, whatever, clerics for this church or this cathedral. As you can see, the garden has a lot of them. Wow, Idea Phoenix, that's awesome. Fusion, our next update will be including multi-level and ceilings. If you want to take a look at that, I can show you some of it really quick. Hey, Kalali, how you doing? Welcome back. Howdy. Howdy, partner. Okay, so this is kind of demonstrates how you can transition between levels and have structures, or, you know, rooms and stuff and hallways and objects on multiple levels. You can actually use these this new UI element that appears over here to click up and down to go between the levels or add a new level up or down. Additionally, you can use the hotkeys plus or minus to jump between levels. And when you are on a new level, it looks like this, kind of like a blank slate, at which point you can use the room tool to draw new rooms or structures on top of it. You know, Callie, I'm a bit of a homebody. I don't go out much. I would be honest with you, I had no idea what it's like down on the strip most of the time. I think the last time I went down to the strip, it was in like pre-pandemic. I went to a convention down there, which they're having the exact same convention this year in like a few weeks, a couple weeks. It's the Level Up Expo. But yeah, I basically just kind of stay at home and vibe. I pay a lot for my house, so I like it. I like being here. But no, I go out and I walk. I get walks and I walk my dog, and we go to the grocery store and stuff. But for the most part, I don't really participate in activities down by the strip in Vegas. Hey, John Doom, welcome back. So my son and I had a discussion about your username the other day. And he said your last name should be Guy, not John Doom. And I said no, because the game is Doom. Doom Guy is in Doom, and they're named after the game. It's like John Halo, right? It's not John Master Chief, it's John Halo. And so we had this discussion about your name the other day. And we were just laughing really hard about it. I hope you don't mind. It was quite hilarious. And we were trying to figure out what my name would be for... Would it be John Alchemist? John Dungeon? John Dungeon Alchemist? There was so much philosophical discussion. We love the joke, though. It's a funny, silly thing. I've always enjoyed the humor behind it. So, Andres, basically, when you export a map in the new update, if it has multiple levels, it will export all of those levels as part of a batch. So essentially, we've incorporated a new tool called batch exporting that will allow you to not only export all the levels and their associated data files in a mass export, but it also allows you to kind of customize your export options and save them as preferences for later. So you can have multiple export preferences. So, 72 DPI with a grid, without a grid, animated, non-animated, morning, evening, afternoon, night, snow, etc. So you can start kind of fine-tuning all your exports. Say you export every map 4 or 5 times. Now you won't have to. It's just one massive export after you create all your batches. I really hate how this is bugged on the edge here. I have to find the spot where it works every time. So kind of back to the build here, because I haven't really started at all. But you know what? That's fine with me. I'm going to just put this fence around this area to kind of fence off the pauper graves, and we can start putting graves in here. I have to find that tiny little spot. In fact, Andres, I might have a clip of the batch exporter. Here's an image of it so you can take a look at it. So, with the batch exporter, you essentially can set up formats, right? So you name the format, you set up all the options for the export, right? So you can set it as its export size, quality, with a grid, without a grid, with the lights, 3D, non-3D perspectives, etc., right? Then you kind of set it up as to what it would be. and save it under these export format lists. When you click this, it has a drop down. In fact, let me click this. So in the drop down menu, you can essentially add tons of formats and save them. And then once you've saved a format, it's in your batch. And when you click export, it exports them all, one after another, after another, after another, after another. John, not stock. You'd have to really lean on the Steam Workshop or the asset importer for that. But there are quite a few maps on the Workshop that have really excelled on, cultural, like that region's cultural assets. What you can do is if you click Steam Workshop and click Browse Assets, you can try searching that, like those kind of themes. But what I would recommend is find a map that's that theme instead. So maybe type, we could try typing Asian, see what comes up. There's a few Asian villages that if you download this one, it'll come with a bunch of assets in it, usually, that might help. Additionally, you could try maybe a Japanese, see if something comes up. There's a few people who have excelled at making some of these, and there are assets that are from the workshop that are available. Dungeon Alchemist tends to not really want to, the devs don't really like to do cultural assets, as it's hard to do effectively without potentially, running into offending someone because we're not experts on it, that culture. So the devs have tried to avoid that. In the past, anytime they've dabbled into cultural type assets, it always becomes problematic. Yes, we try our best to do it respectfully because, yeah, like myself, I am like a connoisseur of culture. I love other cultures. I love hearing people speak in their native tongue. I love learning about art and history from other cultures. The thing is, it's if you start using those cultures' history and other stuff like that in your product, there might be things where, I don't know, there's licensing rights, and then also you don't want to offend anyone or, make something that's not necessarily something you're supposed to do. And with a small team, an indie team of 10 people, we don't really have the resources to, hire a cultural, team to assist us on this. So we basically kind of make sure we don't dabble into that, you know what I mean? I think there was a couple of assets in one of our updates some time ago, and there was a bit of an uproar over it in our Discord. I remember distinctly a few people getting upset, and we had to quickly, either remove some assets or rename them and retheme them. But that's the thing. I've been part of the team since then, and every time we do an update, like, I'll go through and look at every single asset to make sure nothing seems weird, like looks awkward or has a weird name that might seem weird. One thing to consider is our devs, like, their first language isn't English. So often they're, like, translating stuff. And so English is my first language, so I'll, like, double check to make sure this is what they mean. This is offensive, Spencer. I don't know why this fence is so annoying on this edge, but this is the last of it, so I'm hoping it's done. Well, at least the last... Oh, what did you do that for? Hey. Man, I thought it was good. Thought you were cool, fence. Should have just been doing this the whole time. Smashing it. Smashing that click. Instead of just trying to, like, get it into the finest crevice. Okay, I win. There we go. That was so much quicker. Another thing to consider, John, if you can source assets or make them yourself, if you go to the asset importer, then you can import them yourself. So we built in the asset importer, which allows our community members to import 3D models. So, when we started the asset importer, we didn't have many Palisade options. So I asked Mrs. Mac to take a crack at making some, and we uploaded them to the workshop. And it's funny, I see them in maps all the time now. How you doing today, Roto Chopper? Roto Chopper. You made it on time today, by the way. Yes, I've seen my maps used in quite a few campaigns, actually. It's fun. It's always a pleasure when I see my maps used in, like, streams. Well, I mean, here's a story for you, John. We have a community member named Sack, who is a very prolific map maker, map sharer in our community. And I would say 6 months ago, they'd never made a 3D asset, and now they have over like 1,200 on the Steam Workshop. It only takes just a little bit of like a kick to kind of learn these things nowadays, especially with all the knowledge on the internet. So Rado Chopper, there's three and a half formats available for upload. You can upload STL, FBX, and GLTF/GLB files. So STLs, they end up being like a flat gray when you upload them. I'll show you one that I've uploaded, this snail shell. Now, the cool thing about STL models are devs realize that this would be kind of boring as just a flat gray, though it does kind of look like an unpainted, mini, so it's kind of fun to have like that kind of aesthetic. But if you click the paintbrush, you have filters for it, so you can quickly change the color of an STL to just another solid color, including some metallics. These could be status effects or just, its normal color. Now, additionally, you can upload assets as full color as an FBX or like a GLTF file. This is the same file, just, with a skin on it, Here is the same thing, just rotated with kind of some, like, symbols on it. You get the idea. Hey, Cowser, good Monday to you. They are cool shells, aren't they? So, to that end, you can upload animated files. You can upload full color, like fully painted files, and just flat gray files. How do you rotate what? Like the snail shell? You grab this and you rotate it. The left click there. I'm assuming you mean how do you rotate them on any axes? He doesn't know about the 3 shells? I'm glad someone said something. So you would need to rotate it in a 3D model program before you upload it. So we have a tool built in that allows you to import assets. So I had the shell as laying flat and uploaded it like that and rotated it in the editor and then saved it and then uploaded it like that. So if you have a 3D file editor, it's really not that hard to rotate that file before you upload it into the asset importer. Now, that being said, we are working on allowing you to rotate objects within Dungeon Alchemist, but I wouldn't, dwell or plan on it because I haven't seen any demonstrations of it, and we're getting close to the end of the quarter. So it might be one of those things where they decide to scrap it in lieu of the next update, which would, in my opinion, would be kind of silly, but, you know, I'm not the one making these decisions. Anyway. So the 3D asset, that 3D model, you would open it in like Tinkercad or Blender, and then you would rotate it, save it as that state, and then upload it through the asset importer. It's a little tricky, but yeah, it's possible. How was everyone's weekend? You can import PNGs, or 3D models, Kowser. So we have these abstract objects called these green kind of blank slates. You can insert images into them. Here, let me put a couple of these here to show you. So these can be used in a variety of different ways, and we have templates for these. I'll show you those in a moment. So here is almost that same shell, like just a drawn image of it, but as a PNG, a flat image. There's no like depth to that, right? But in top down, doesn't really matter. So, you know what's kind of cool about this? Like Forgotten Adventures, like the supplement website for Dungeon Draft, like all of the assets there, all of them can be used in Dungeon Alchemist through these like tools. Here's another thing I like doing, magic circles. So I just inserted an image into this, and this is a PNG. Now I have a magic circle. You could do custom floor tiles, custom walls, all sorts of things with these. There's a couple examples. Before we had the ability to import 3D models, users in our community made doors like this. They like would wrap an image around it to make a custom door. If you click on this icon on the any abstract object, it goes to our website, which has a bunch of templates for each object. So this is the cube, this is the wall. If you look at them, all the images are the exact same size. 1024 pixels by 1024 pixels. So 1024 by 1024. But what matters is the green area. That's the safe space. And you need to think of it like papercraft, like you're unwrapping a cube into a flat object, right? Or opening up, cutting the edge of a cereal box and laying it flat. So instead of it being a 3D rectangle, it's now flattened. That's exactly what this shape is. If you look at it, that's the top of a rectangle. These are the sides. These are the big, huge surfaces. Here, this is a cube just unwrapped. So if you are familiar with Forgotten Adventures, right? There's a website that is like a supplement for Dungeon Draft. Often people will say, well, they have so many more assets than you, right? Because of this. And there's all these like tokens and map making assets, right? Because they allow you to insert images into Dungeon Draft, right? If I'm not mistaken. How do I look at them? So like they have all these tokens and stuff. These are just PNG images, most of them. Unless it's a GIF, then you can't use it. But if it's a PNG, you could just download it and insert it into Dungeon Alchemist. Yeah, you could download them all en masse. I was just kind of showing that there's stuff like, here, let me show you an example, okay? Here, let's download something from this. Let's download this eye, okay? This is a PNG, it says right here. So So that will work. I'm going to just save it to my desktop. And I'm going to try it on this circle one. Oops. That didn't take long at all. But any PNG can be imported into Dungeon Alchemist. If the image is not a PNG, let's say it's a JPEG, just throw it in a video editor, or not a video editor, photo editor, convert it to a PNG. Yeah, so the thing is their asset website, Forgotten Adventures, is essentially a supplement for Dungeon Alchemist. Any PNG image you can find can be inserted into Dungeon Alchemist. Now, keep in mind the art style will be slightly different, but some of their art is actually very close to ours. Often I'll be looking at like streams and like a very small preview image will come up and I'm like, wait, is that us or Dungeon Draft? It's a game I play. Dungeon Draft or Alchemist? You went to a convention and you presented a panel? Thank you, Dyson, for plugging DA. I appreciate the love. What was the convention called? Tell us more. John, you never answered me, though. What would my username be? Would it be John Dungeon? John Alchemist? Oh, that's cool, Roto Chopper. John Dam. Actually, you know what? You're right. John Dam. That you nailed it. Fantastic, my friend. Thank you so much for the love. Were there recordings of this? Is it up somewhere where I could check it out? I would very much like to. Let's get back to building. I want to get a lot done today. But I will continue to showcase and teach and show you all the cool things. So before you could import assets, that was kind of the custom thing, was using these, right? Like our community would just kind of get crazy with these. Let's see here. Here's a TNT box. Or you can insert a blank PNG into it, which is fun, which makes it invisible. That's how we used to stack objects up, was put it on top of an invisible box. Like, our community used to come up with all sorts of crazy workarounds before you could raise objects up and down. Now that you can raise objects up and down, like, it's kind of trivial. And then once we're able to rotate objects on any axes, it'll be insane. Aww, really? You didn't have a friend record it or anything? Don John Alchemist. That kind of works too. But it's okay. So that's on our roadmap for development, and I was hoping it'd get knocked out in this update. There's still time for it to get done, but we'll see. I'm a little nervous as we're getting closer to launch, because a lot of time went into properly developing roofing and multi-level, and as a result of which some other things had pins put in them temporarily while we were focusing on that, you know? Unrelated to the New Hampshire alchemists. No, we hate those guys. No relation. Okay, so I've kind of got the basic outline of this generic kind of pauper grave site. I need to delete a few of these, though. So we have, like, entry points. It's pretty good overall. Okay. So, Mateus, the devs have talked about doing what we call variant creation for our users, our community. Which, what that is there's objects in Dungeon Alchemist that are pre-decorated, right? Like, you know, when you generate rooms, a lot of tables are pre-decorated, like in a bakery or a butcher shop or alchemy shop, whatever. Notice how they have stuff on them. That's not our procedural generation AI decorating it. These are pre-decorated, and there's a handful of predetermined, like, presets, if you will. We call these variants, and I'm actually switching between these by pressing tab. So if you open an object that's pre-decorated, 9 times out of 10, if you press tab, it'll cycle between a bunch of them. More often than not, there's several variants available. Pauper grave sites, yes. This whole section here is going to be like terraced private plots. Like, it'll be like, oh, this corner is one family, this section's another. This, you know, there'll be little plots. There's like going to be walkways, but only directly to those areas. Notice this one's more sectionalized and broken up. There's probably going to be some burial mounds, cairns, really primitive. You know, Spencer, I often get distracted, and you know, the distractions are me helping our community. Let's pull up graves, shall we? So, like these that are just like mounds, right? Could be something. We'll have cairns. Just like really primitive graves. Gosh, I wish we had... broken graves. Kind of unlabeled graves, just like really simple gravestones. Kind of what I'm going for here. And those snap points are egregious. Too far. Kind of place them by hand. That's it for cemetery. Come on. Come on. So I'll be honest with you, as we started creating this map, I had no like bad intentions for it. But over time, our community members were like, so there has to be a necromancer, right? Why does the caretaker does nefarious things with people's bodies, right? Like he sells them to necromancers or something. Like everybody had like a subplot for this place. And so we slowly started developing a kind of a subplot that'll lead into our next build, because our accompanying build for this is going to be like a sewer system and catacombs that are the ancient, more like ancient graves underneath this area. But there's several access points to the catacombs in the map. One is right here under this tomb here, the sarcophagus, the little door. Right? Another one is actually at the cathedral, behind the confessional booth. If you look at these here, kind of interestingly, they rotate. So you can kind of close the thing, close the curtain, rotate someone around, go into the secret passage behind, and then there's a door underneath, underground, leading somewhere. Where, I wonder? Why would the cathedral have this? Maybe so they could ferry away people and give them asylum, or escape during times of contention, or maybe more nefarious things are going on and the chapel is just a front. Who knows? Could be any number of ways to tell this story. And then lastly, I have one more hidden entrance, and I'm probably going to do one other one. But this one is on the caretaker's property. The caretaker's property is in the corner of the entire cemetery. It's private, fenced off, massive hedges, you know, offer privacy for almost the entire area. And he, in the back of his property, under a massive pile of manure, is an access hatch. I'll be honest, as a wizard or anybody who can get necromancy spells, it's fun. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy taking them as a wizard, even if I'm not the necromancer subclass. I know it's kind of taboo to have, you know, some zombies or some skeletons, but it's nice sometimes too. Anyway, hey Mary, yeah, I feel like an evil. I'm a bit of a mastermind. Yes, evil. Who knows? Maybe, possibly. I'm just kidding. Thank you though for calling me a mastermind. I appreciate it. I'm looking at the positive here. Oh my goodness, Ninja, really? Oh my goodness, that's insane. Your players are hilarious. I know there's a grave that's like a long... Yes, these. This is what I'm after. Simple graves. These are going to be everywhere. And I made an oopsie by not lining the grid up. That one's another one. I really should be cramming these in here, huh? Like, filling it in, right? That looks pretty good. I can live with that. So the only reason I added secrets to this map is because... Oh, nice, Roto Chopper. You shared them on the workshop? I'd love to check them out. Are they on there now? Or you're going to share them soon? That makes me so happy. Like, you know, just knowing even one of you is inspired to share your work with our community makes me so happy. I wish we had more than just like graves that were crosses. Our next update will definitely help with that. I'm probably going to do things like pikes. That one seems really brutal though. How about a pole? Something like that. Actually, you know what? I don't want to use connected poles. I'm going to use the pole. Because if we have connected poles, they start getting crazy. I'll show you how in a minute. Watch. But I can actually use this to my advantage. Watch. We could actually link these two graves. This will be cool. We'll do a connected pole. We'll drop it into the ground like this, and then put another one. Because connected poles will automatically link with poles nearby that say connected poles. So we now have like these two could have been married or something. This is some way to symbolize they were together. Who knows? Also, I'm going to get just see if I can search grave. Can come up with some non-denominational gravestones. That one's too big. It could be both. Yeah, it could be a rum cellar. Why not? I mean, it could also be a wine cellar at a chapel, though. It makes sense. What other types? I need to get so diverse with graves. This is going to get intense. Oh my goodness. Guess we'll just keep looking. Try to just have some, like, caskets just sitting above like this. Or is that too weird? A sword is a good one. I'll do a sword on this one. I could also just lay a sword on it. Yeah, I would say any of the upright. That's a good statement there for sure. We could even use this warhammer. It's kind of intense though. But the sword looks really good there. Oh, that's a good idea, Dyson. So it's just some of the stonework. Like if you go to structural, right, you can get in here and there's all sorts of these things. These kind of look neat, these piles. This looks like a headstone. We'll get creative with these. Two of them side by side with like a gap. That looks pretty cool, actually. I like that a lot, actually. That's an interesting one. What else do we got in here that can work? Some columns might work. Oh yeah, some of these columns could definitely work. And there's some broken ones, right? Yes. Yes. Yes! I'm gonna shrink this down. That is heckin' satisfying. Well, you'll be able to put decals on the graves and stuff soon enough, so it won't really matter. I think decals will help fill in the blanks on a lot of things. Like, if you look at this image here, it's a great example of how, like, Wim put, like, rust and dirt and moss and cracks on these, like, new graves. So not only will there be hundreds of denomination options of graves, because you can change, like, all of these things out on them, but in variation, but then you can change them by doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, overgrowth will be something I do after I fill it in. I tend to put in, like, the generic stuff, the base, like, foundation, then do the, like, details after. But that is a great suggestion, Eduardo. How you doing, by the way? Oops. But yeah, the decal tool will get, like here, you can see the moss, leaves, dirt, snow. You can put all that inside or on objects. Yeah, there's going to be so much diversity in the new graves. So we've been building this map for a while, right? You know, like once a week for about a half hour for like 5-6 months, maybe even longer. And while we've been making it, I've come to the harsh realization that we don't have enough like diversity in our gravestones, and they're mostly like denominational, which makes zero sense in a fantasy setting. Like, I'm not knocking Christianity at all. Like, it's just weird that we only have so many like crosses instead of like kind of generic like things that are more for deities in a fantasy setting. You know what I mean? Crows. Ooh, that's amazing, Mary. I love that. That's a good idea. Help. I need help though coming up with more options for like headstones. So please, if y'all have ideas, please let me know. Cairns and stuff will do too. I'm gonna mix and match some of these things. Probably gonna shrink these actually. You can put down runes and stuff too. I was actually probably thinking of capping this off with like a tree. I was going to put in some plants and stuff where it wouldn't necessarily fit. Statue could work too. Oh, don't like that. Don't lag. This is the one I wanted. Something like that. But it also could be symbolic that she's like watching over all of these graves that she's looking over. Something to that nature. We have tons of graves to add, so we'll be adding tons of diversity. Almost every grave site will be slightly different here, and that's what's going to make them all unique in their own regard. Like everybody just kind of made their own, right? I do like the idea of using some pots, though, because that could be just like what they put them in, or a cairn, you know, or something like this could be whatever. Hey, Mondu, how you doing, buddy? I think I need to add some sort of like walkway, but it's going to be kind of primitive. It'll be this way and then kind of through this down the center. So it's like graves on either side of this. Grave, 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 grave. You know what I mean? Like these? Oops. Rubla. That's a good idea. Hmm. Hey, run amok. I might even shrink these graves down and pack them in tighter. Like, packed in. So there might even be like 4 in here instead. Trying to think. Because we could do like a walkway down the center, and then it'd be grave, 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 walkway, grave, you know what I mean? What is the name? Hookah, I think? Or maybe a pipe? Like that? Water pipe? Here, let's turn on the grid. See, that's like 6 feet. That seems normal for a grave, okay? So we're gonna pack them in tight here. This is gonna get interesting. They're gonna get very sardined. No, there's a hookah. But it's just not labeled as that in here, which is weird. If you type pipe, it comes up. Water pipe. Yes. In fact, I have access to a dev build of DA right now. One of the benefits of being on the team as a community manager. It allows me to make, teasers and test it and kind of look for bugs and stuff. In fact, our last update, Magic, I found a major game-breaking bug in my build that they couldn't see in theirs. And it ended up, delaying our release by, several months. But as a result of which, we migrated to a much, better version of Unity. So we have more longevity and improvements to performance and stuff like that. Basically, it's for the best that we did this. I don't know if that's it. I've always been told they're called a hookah. It's spelled Hookah. It's pretty popular in at least in the US right now. I remember when I was younger, they were pretty popular. You'd go to parties and there'd always be a hookah set up. There's hookah lounges here in Vegas that are set up that you could go to and try one out. You can pick a flavor and they come over and set up the pipe for you. Basically, Mondu, the bug was about 2/3 of the assets were invisible in my build. They were there, their colliders were there, but they were invisible and you couldn't click on them or interact with them or move them. But the space they were taking up was there, so you couldn't put another object there, even if colliders were off. And it was basically the version of Unity we were in had a limitation to the amount of objects or assets you could have in any one instance. So in a video game, when you develop a video game, every level is an instance. And within that level, they often have many instances. When you load into a new area, anytime you load into a new scene, new area, whatever, new instance. And they do this because their build only has access to so many, assets or textures. And so they kind of modular, set it up as modular kind of smaller instances so they don't have to hit that wall. When you're in Dungeon Alchemist, you have access to every asset simultaneously. Every wall, every window, every door, every floor, every token, everything you've gotten from the workshop, everything we update. Over 6,500 stock assets plus whatever's on the workshop. And we found that you hit a wall, that ceiling. Once you hit that ceiling, the objects were invisible. They weren't loading. So we had to migrate to a version of Unity that basically went from that limiter to far beyond that. It's to the quintillionth amount of objects we can have in a single instance without it causing a problem, I guess, if they're optimized correctly. So basically no one in our community will ever hit that problem. So I've had a lot of, feedback on the development of multi-level, both because I get meetings behind the scenes with the devs and I get to play with it firsthand. And also I share what we have with, currently teasers with the community and get your feedback, and I take notes on it, and then I share that in those meetings. So between, community feedback and then me playing with it, a lot of times it kind of helps steer and guide the ship. Community guidance and insight is very important to them. things like multi-level and roofing weren't really planned as part of our roadmap or even offered in our Kickstarter. We never promised it in our Kickstarter. So us adding it as part of our development cycle is a big bonus, and it was mostly due to community insight and feedback, community votes on our upvote, people saying, "Hey, we want this so bad." So we took that in, that feedback, all the comments across our social media and streams and our roadmap, upvote suggestions, and decided it was worth the time to invest in it for development. So, anyway. I think doing this will allow me to cram a lot more graves in here. What do y'all think? Because then I could have like a walkway going up like this. So I'm actually very happy with the multi-level, first and foremost because it's groundbreaking. The devs have put a lot of care into making sure this is working well. Okay, when they started setting out for it, the first iteration was giving us these kind of like flat roofs. And right off the bat, when I saw it, I just said, I know our community is happy about this, but they won't just want flat roofing. Also, there's been a lot of feedback about this like little kind of crenulation kind of half wall on the top level. It makes sense on like castles and fortresses and spires, but it doesn't make sense on like the average roof, right? So they're working diligently to come up with solutions for this that not only make sense, but look good. So this is kind of an updated iteration of roofing with angled roofs. So you actually get, runoff that makes sense. This more looks like a fortified rooftop in the forest to keep you protected from maybe things climbing on your roof like animals. So that makes sense, and it can still have runoff, right? I'll be honest with you, though, groundbreaking is the word. Them allowing you to go underground and go several levels underground and start kind of doing Minecraft-esque type things is taking Dungeon Alchemist from this kind of flat plane into a truly 3D builder, and with the talk behind the scenes of them wanting to make an accompanying virtual tabletop, it seems like we're kind of heading towards maybe our own complementary virtual tabletop that can actually utilize what Dungeon Alchemist has to offer. You know what I mean? Nice, Run Amok. Yeah, I saw your DM, man, but I was not on the clock this morning, and I was kind of waking up, getting coffee in me, and then as soon as I was on, I was getting ready for the stream, so I didn't have a chance to respond to you. I was going to wait till after, till I had a moment to actually type out a response. So I appreciate you reaching out, man, and I've got you on my docket to reach out to you later today. But when multi-level started being shown to me, I was like, so are we going to do angled roofing? Is there going to be a very simple roofing tool similar to the floor tool? Are we going to have every roof option available to match like all the different types of housing? And, I started asking these questions. They're like, well, we were probably going to just do flat roofing to start. And I go, I'll tell you right now, the community will definitely not be, like, they'll be excited about flat roofing, but they'll be like, so when are we going to get angled roofing? It's, I think if you're going to do roofing, you should do it right? And have all, multiple types of roofing, thatch, slate, tile, stone, like all these different options of roofing. And then on top of that, flat roofing, angled roofing, you know, all this different diversity. And then one key thing that I think I insisted upon that I feel is going to be important for you as community members is that the roofing should have its own menu in the left menu bar, a roof menu, or be part of the floor menu because they're kind of integral with each other. To be honest with you, it's a lot of our discussions behind the scenes really determine how these things get made at the end of the day. So I fight for the community. I literally will like lobby for you. I speak as a community voice behind the scenes to say, hey, I don't think they'll like this. I don't think they'll be happy with it. But ultimately, like right now in my build, the roofing is buried in this menu, in the edit room menu, in a separate like tab. So once you select a room, right, then you have, there's a tool here that shows roofing. And I'm like, that's where it's buried. It's hard to find. And this is a key new feature, and it's 3 menus deep. And I'm like, I don't think that'll be something people will be thrilled about. It needs to be right here somewhere. Like right here, whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I always look at it from the community perspective, not the development perspective. And I think that insight is very important because we tend to get off track sometimes. As we are focused on a little bit different stuff internally than, you know, than our community may be perceiving what, you know, it should be. Does that make sense? Anyway. Yeah, there was, well, it's like, you have access to this asset right now if you go to, it's under like spider webs, but it's like a human wrapped in a cocoon. Rev, you're funny. I think I might put a little bit of fence in between these as just like a simple barrier. Right? We'll just do more graves. These ones are going to be next to each other over here. But see, I crammed 6 graves in the space of 3. This is definitely starting to look more Pauper grave. Sardines, yes. You're getting it, Chim. In fact, I'm glad I'm starting like this now because it would have been harder doing this later. Shrink this down just a skosh. Kind of tuck it in here. Duplicate it. Duplicate it. I was hoping that would run out to the path. It's too big there. If I make it like this tall, I guess I can just raise it up a bit. Did y'all see that new Paul Rudd commercial, the Nintendo Switch 2 commercial? Cronklore D&D was canceled? No! The biggest bad of all. Basically TPK'd your party for the night. I'm so sorry, my friend. I am so sorry. Yep. So, I guess Paul Rudd is just timeless. I did not realize he was in that SNES commercial in the 90s with the kid like at the drive-in theater wearing the duster, like and like playing F-Zero and stuff. That's Paul Rudd as like a kid. But basically, he hasn't aged since that day until they made the Switch commercial. I think it unleashed his aging because now he looks like someone's aunt. Like, I don't know. Did Nintendo bottle up his life force and release it with the Switch 2 commercial? That guy definitely has some sort of contract. I'm just kidding. The power of makeup. Anyway, I love Paul Rudd, one of my favorite actors, and he has been acting forever, and I'm so glad that he's like finally getting his due. I think he was a perfect fit for Ant-Man. I really enjoyed him as Ant-Man. So 6 graves in the space of 3. I just upped the ante here, and I think that's going to be the theme going forward. I just got to shrink everything down to be, like, matching. So we're going to do this one, and this one, down a little bit more, and then we're going to do another dirt mound, which is this one. Down even more. And the sword goes over here. And later we'll put like flowers and coins and things on the grave to signify, people have visited them. But for right now, it's mostly just kind of setting the scope of the atmosphere, the landscape, and we'll put details later. I really think that the commercial break was his soul being kept like that painting, Yeah. Is that a pretty good game? Balatro or whatever? Isn't it like a card game or something? I haven't played it. I just see people talking about it a lot. It's really good. All right. I believe you. This is great. I love this. Ugh. I really love building maps by hand. It's my favorite. By the way, if y'all have any questions about, exports or how to build something in your own maps or our progress in our update, our next update, Fun with Objects, feel free to let me know in chat and I will do my best to address your concerns. Oh, we're definitely adding some wooden ones. It's going to be just mostly, things that look run down or kind of anything they could have used. Wood or basic stone or primitive stone. Maybe they could have afforded a headstone, but it's like falling apart after years. Might even fit 4 in this one if I'm lucky. Let's try it. Let's see if we can fit 4. I'll do between 6 and 8 in every space. This is going to be good. This last one I guess we can do just more Karens. Yeah, we'll do those. This is the headstone for this, so I'll bring it over here. How you doing today, Asmo? By the way, the other day I hit you up because I was trying to figure out a way to rapidly cut out the same shape in a repeating pattern from a 3D file, but I figured it out. So, no worries. I was making a basket to hold my 45 records because I got this new shelf for my living room because my old one was like falling apart. Cairns. There's two types of people in the world. Those that make rock cairns and those that knock them down. So in national state parks in the US, like state parks, federal parks, cairns are used to mark like very deep trail markers where you're supposed to be staying on a trail or turning at specific points. They're meant to stay there for years and not be disturbed. Now, in the last few years, there's people who make cairns as like an art style, and it's their way to be one with nature, they say. So they grab all the rocks in the area and stack them unnaturally to be one with nature. Rev. That's a good one. I like it. So essentially, I love hiking through, parks, but then there'll be like all these rocks stacked up blocking the pathway or all around it, especially anywhere there's lots of stones. And they kind of just disrupt the natural flow of things, and it's meant to look like a photo opportunity for like like someone for Instagram instead of just nature. And so, yeah, I see those, and technically they're not allowed in parks unless they're supposed to be marking like critical turns or, paths. And they were put there by the people who manage the parks, the rangers and whatnot, volunteers. So, yeah, they drive me crazy. Don't like them. That's the Boy Scout in me getting very irritated. Because those parks are for everyone. They're not just for like one person to do whatever they want there. Like, leave no trace is really important. Especially if we want these spaces for future generations. Don't even get me started on that. Marker trees, that's an interesting concept. Though I will say trees change a lot over time. Whereas, stacking stones can stay there for years in the middle of like a remote area. As long as they're not disturbed or flooded over, But I do see some merit in that because they're also planting trees at the same time. I love how this is looking. What do y'all think about the way we're cramming all these graves in here? Because that was graves all the way to that end, and now there's like just this many. Holy cow. I feel like I've done no work. This is nuts. Do you need a WinRAR license? Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever gotten a WinRAR license. I feel so bad. I miss visualizers. Does anyone remember like visualizers when they were like in every media player? No, not yet. we could make one that's just children's graves. Like this one could be just children's graves, or this one of these sections could be only children's graves if we want. Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. Jim, you're like, are you going to finish the graveyard today? Look at this. This is all I've gotten done. I'm so slow. Artful Darkness, thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. Because, you know, TikTok is very algorithmic based, likes help us get noticed. So thank you so much for that. Okay, let's continue here. Do y'all remember what it would say when you loaded up Winamp for the first time, like the default file? It was something about a llama. What was it? Okay, let's just continue variations of this stuff. A couple of these side by side. This is my RNG right now. I'm just going to kind of mix and match these, and then we'll do different headstones. I'm just looking for things that might pass as a headstone right now. I'm going to come up with some ones. I guess back into the polls and stuff, because that gave me a lot of options with these broken ones especially. A beehive headstone. Holy cow. Hey, see you later. Rev, good luck, man. It's kind of look neat. I'm honestly just kind of taking liberties here, trying to get creative with this stuff. Because I feel like they'd be made out of whatever. I say a little prayer for you. There you go, brother. Hopefully that helps. I'd be honest, asking me to pray for you probably wouldn't help. I am, say not much of, me and that guy aren't on speaking terms sometimes. Why are you so sad, Adlam? What's wrong, brother? I like how this is coming along. Honestly, meetings in general, even if I know they're going to be good, give me anxiety. I don't know. That's kind of the general feeling I have going into them. How about y'all? I don't even need to be presenting something in a meeting and I still get anxiety. Oh, another one that gets me? If someone's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And then they're like, just nothing else. More paint. That's great. When I've been in tons of meetings too, and I stream all the time as I'm in front of y'all. But the thing is it's kind of a one-way meeting. Like, it's more like a TED Talk, you know? And then I respond to the things you're saying, you know, that's not being said out loud. So it doesn't flare my anxiety, a bunch of people talking at me or talking over each other and a bunch of noise, you know? It's a more controlled scenario. But when there's a bunch of people talking or trying to vie for the floor or get attention or whatever, talking over each other, when there's a lot of noise, like in an Xbox, like in a game party, for instance, like when there's like 10 people in a game communicating, that gets me like, whoa, I can't even understand what's going on. Asmodeus, I thought you are the VIP. Don't they have to throw it together for you? I kid, brother. Well, back to the grind. Let's add some more graves, shall we? Hey, Rune Weaver. What up? How's your day? So, yesterday was my day off, and I really just wanted to relax because I haven't, like, done anything to unwind lately. Usually on my days off, I'm running errands or doing stuff around the house or dealing with other stuff, family matters and stuff like that. So yesterday I was like, okay, I'm gonna unplug and just do something fun all day, and I spent all day playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for like the first time in years. And I started a new game and grinded through like 25% of the game in a single day. So like I've been playing the Red Dead franchise since the first game, Red Dead Revolver, right? And Red Dead Revolver was an absolute treat. Loved the game, and then Red Dead Redemption 1, great. Just enjoyed the franchise so far. But Red Dead Redemption 2 really is really good. But I've just not had as much time to play it in the last, few years, if you will. So I kind of, especially gaming wise, I haven't done much the last few years, other than D&D. Hey, Charlene, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Charu, how you doing? Oh wait, is that Charlene in both places? Look at you. Double cats. Speaking of cats, I think I heard mine earlier. Come here. Come here. So my cat's snuggling with my son at the moment. Kitty's off snuggling with my son at the moment, but we've got a puppy instead. Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Hi. Yeah, he didn't get a bath today. He's just chilling out. He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? You okay, bud? You get all wobbly. Oh, whoa, princess. Why are you so scared? Is it chilly in Dad's office? Got the AC blasting in here. Maybe that's what it is. Good boy though. He's just being kind of like shaky. Oh, oh. Dum dum bum ba da 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 da. Think ahead here how I'm going to make this work. Okay. I just sang the rhythm of your grandma's TV. What, was I just humming Indiana Jones and didn't even realize it? What can I say? It's got its grips in me. Hey, AJ, thank you for the kind words. How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Dungeon Alchemist does indeed rock. It rocks my socks off. I was sitting there one day with socks, and then the next day they were gone. Or the next moment they were gone. It's quite a place to be. I think I've made you XD at least 5 times today, Atlam. Full-on millennial cringe in view for you today. I am making Atlam just die inside a little bit each time I speak. Trying to find out what quests the week will let you take. Well, if you're looking for a quest or an idea for a map, just a heads up, the current Dam Challenge theme is Underground. The Dam Challenge is an ongoing map making contest we host on our multi-streams every other Saturday. It is essentially a map making contest where we pick a theme as a group and challenge our community to make a map of any shape or size using that theme as inspiration. So the next theme is Underground. If you want to participate in the Dam Challenge, you have between now and end of day on the 2nd of May in your time zone. So 11:59 p.m. in your time zone, wherever that is, on the 2nd of May. So be thinking of an underground style map and make one of any shape or size. You submit that in the Dam Challenge channel in our Discord. There's some rules pinned at the top of that channel that you must follow to qualify. In fact, let me just pull up the Dam Challenge channel really quick, toot sweet for y'all. So the Dam Challenge channel here, if you click where the pin icon is, there's the rules right there. You just must follow those rules in order to qualify. I just realized I did not unpin the last week's winner and pin this week's. No! What did I do? Pin that right now. Pinned. Anyway. Of course, the Discord pin system is a nightmare. You have to like unpin and repin and do pins and don't pins. I don't know why. Anyway, now the rules are back at the top where no one can lose them. But if you check out our Discord, you could see past entries. So the last winner, Blue Mage, won with this map called Tomb of Ankh-Sept. You can see the map on the Steam Workshop, download it. It's not only an exterior tomb, but the inside is navigable as well. It's very cool. We'll pull it up here in a bit and take a look at it. But the Dam Challenge is very fun, kind of a way to challenge yourself to push your map making to new heights. And if your map is the winning map, if it qualifies and is the winning map, you get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. So not only do you get to show off your map in front of the community and kind of flex your map maker muscle, if your map is the winning map, it's the first map featured on the Dam Challenge stream, and you get that prize, the $10 Hero Forge gift card. Anyway, oh, Thank you. I see it. How long ago? Okay, cool. You know, I'll probably take a break then and go do that. Oh, you know what? We're wrapping up in 20 minutes. I'll run till then. Just keep an eye on it, okay? We had a package delivered just now, the missus said, so I'm going to have to deal with that soon. We have a bit of a porch pirate problem in our neighborhood, so I got to snatch that up. For too long. Anyway. I honestly hate porch pirates so much. It's so frustrating because nowadays, like, Amazon is taking responsibility for it, and they offer no ways to prevent it. Like, they'll watch packages get stolen right in front of them as they, like, deliver it. And yeah, it's frustrating. And I've even had packages stolen out of Amazon lockers, so I appreciate that suggestion, but it's not really viable until Amazon comes up with a better solution. It's crazy. Trying to get this angle just right. That's good enough. And then we can reuse these stones. Even shrink this just a little bit. Just reuse these ones going this direction. Yes. Oh my gosh, Mark Rober is so amazing. Like, I feel like there's so much garbage content on, like, the internet nowadays with videos, and his stuff is always so wholesome and fun. Like, well thought out content. And the thing is like, if you challenge the fact that this wasn't delivered, like a package, they'll be like, okay, can you prove it wasn't or that it was stolen? I'll show them video and they'll be like, that's not adequate. I have had them give me a PIN code to give a PIN to the delivery driver, okay? It was awkward. The delivery driver showed up with two friends and asked me to give them the PIN. And I was like, wait a second, you want me to give you the PIN before I even see the package? And why are there three of you? I felt like I was going to get jumped. Like, it was really weird. So I've had, like, a graphics card stolen off my porch. I've had cutting boards, clothing, medicine, like, all sorts of stuff. And I will insist on a specific delivery location on my property, them knocking, you know, waiting for me to come get it in the delivery instructions. And it's usually just ignored. Like, we have a recessed driveway and I have a table on it, like a little porch table, like a patio table. And like some chairs, and if they put it there, no one would ever see it, and it would be out of the way, and it's like an extra 20-foot walk, and it's in the delivery instructions for all, like UPS, USPS, FedEx, Amazon, DHL, all of them, and they still don't do it. It's just frustrating. Anyway, So yeah, I've had a ton of stuff stolen, and then Amazon's just like, sorry, you're SOL. So basically, I'm kind of getting to the point I don't want to do business with them anymore because they don't accept responsibility for part of their business service. And I'm not like trying to scam them. I maybe have one item go missing like every 6 months, but it's enough to cause frustration. Squirrel Ninja Warrior, I saw that on TikTok, and that's how I discovered him as well. It's funny. His little backyard setup with all the squirrels trying to like steal all the nuts, right? Interesting. I'll have to check it out. He's a good content creator. He's like a former NASA employee or engineer or something like that. Deciding if I should just put like a couple of graves going along the wall here like this. Because I could have a path coming off of this one, right? This rock is perfect for this stuff. And then maybe put one or two more here. Oh man, that is off. I did not rotate that good. It's always good to kind of do this in a top-down too, because you will get off angle sometimes without even realizing it. Let's get some more headstones in here. Oh wait, wrong side here. No, that's not. No, this isn't gonna work. That's not supposed to be here. I made a mistake. This is supposed to be a fence, right? Honestly, like I enjoy delivery service, and for the most part, it's great. I just, you would expect to a degree, like if they see someone run up behind them and grab the package from behind them, or say, yeah, I live here, and then just hand it to them. Like I've had stuff like this happen, okay, on video, where they are like, no, we delivered it to someone there. No, you delivered it to someone who said they were me. You didn't check their ID. They didn't walk in the house. They just walked up from the street. So I don't know. It's kind of like a gray area for them, and they love to kind of argue that they don't have any responsibility to, make sure something's delivered. So it is what it is. This bollard could work good for marker. I like that. Tuck these in close to this fence, and we'll just make one more path here. But yeah, I managed to sardine in a couple more graves, so I'm proud of myself here. So, like some places, if you don't answer the door, like some delivery companies, if you don't answer the door, they'll like leave a note and say they'll try later. But some places, like they ask for signatures for delivery. Like depending on the shipping level, you could ask for signature. If Amazon wanted to prevent theft, they could have a signature option, right? They don't even have it. That's the problem here, is they don't offer it. I would gladly go to the door and sign for a package and not have to, worry about it being stolen, or put up a box on my porch they could drop the deliveries in, but they don't like cooperating with that kind of stuff. So even if I gave them like detailed instructions, the only way I can guarantee the delivery is not stolen is if be like grab it immediately or be there at the door when they show up. Which, I mean, arguably is, possible some days, but not most. Even living and working from home, like I'm like right now, I can't go run to the door. I think this turned out pretty good. We can put some plants here to kind of fill it in, and then we'll just have graves all along this side. It's going to be graves all the way down. But is this... Man, I feel like that's not a lot of work that I got done. I'm ashamed of myself. But at the same time, now I kind of have the template for the whole graveyard. So I feel like, it's a stepping stone in the right direction. Oh, I one time paid insurance and signatures for a massive delivery of stuff that was being delivered to my home, like a bunch of arts and crafts equipment that I spent a ton on for a hobby business I was setting up. Okay. Stolen off my porch. No one waited for a signature. It was like 5 huge boxes sitting on my porch all day while I was at work. Of course, someone stole it. It was heartbreaking. The company was mad at FedEx. They were mad at me. They're like, well, why weren't you home to sign for it? I'm like, well, I assumed because it said it needed a signature, if I wasn't there, they'd bring it back another time and would line up, Yeah, that's smart, Runeweaver, but also at the same time, I'm sure it's kind of frustrating for the delivery driver going out in the middle of nowhere and maybe doing 5 deliveries in an hour. I think they're all optimized around like speed, right? Oh man, please don't crash. The closest thing in the US is like the Better Business Bureau, but I'll be honest with you, it's just not, it's more like a complaint website ran by a private company. It doesn't really do anything. Oh, please don't crash. Oh, please don't crash. Anytime this happens and it's like slow and it just says wait, just click wait and let it do its thing. My biggest thing was Amazon is they'll say they're going to deliver one day and then you have a delivery set for the other day for another package and they'll delay that delivery and put it with the other one so they can save money and, hey, Frau, your Frau. Holy cow. Where have you been? I think this is going to crash. I hope the autosave got a lot of this. Oh, it made it. Yay. So this is the complex as a whole. It's going to take forever to save. Fair enough. Always, don't get burnt out on your hobbies or, D&D especially, it's easy to get burnt out on. So definitely take breaks where necessary. I hope you're well. We've been good. We've been good. Here, I'm trying to pull up some teasers for the next update you may not have seen. Yeah, the thing about Mapmaker Monday maps is they're always supposed to be epic, big projects that take a while to finish, because if it only takes one stream, someone may miss it and never even see it or learn anything from it. I like it spanned out over several months because it's a massive project everyone in the community can take a part of. You know, you catch a couple streams, you see it grow, and it just has been growing and growing and growing. So here's a great example of multi-level. Here we have a subterranean, tavern set up with an upper kind of mezzanine patio deck area. But the update, Frau, should be launching sometime before the end of the quarter, most likely. So by the end of June, most likely. But you likely haven't seen most of this stuff if you haven't been around. In the Discord, we have most of the teasers in like the official content section, and Wim shares some more in official content discussion. But it's good to see you on the stream. You're definitely missed. Hope the new update reinvigorates your passion for map making. And like I said, if you got to take a break from time to time to recharge the batteries, do what you got to do. It's always important to make sure that you are taking time for, yourself away from things that may be taking away your joy from time to time. Map making's a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's really easy to get burnt out on it. So it's a good idea to, reassess or even maybe change up what you do with it, do something completely different. Instead of focusing on a campaign, maybe do them for an exercise in stress relief or, artistic expression. So it's not always tied to something so, either monetary or like with a deadline. Does that make sense? I often think us as humans, we have this incessant need to turn every one of our like hobbies into something that ends up like removing joy from it. I don't know why. So definitely, take that time, enjoy yourself, try to reinvigorate yourself in other ways away from the, the hobby. And I understand not being around the stream for that reason if you're trying to take a break. So totally get it. But I'm glad you're here today, Frau. Well, everyone, I got to wrap up the stream, actually. We're now 5 past the hour, so it is time to wrap it up. Kingdom Come is such a good game. Like, they did such a good job on the world design and everything and, like, representing it close to scale and everything. Is there a camera mode where you can get in top-down and just take pictures of everything? Because you could probably just snooch a bunch of battle maps right out of the game. People have done that in Baldur's Gate because there's, like, the photo mode and you just remove all the players from the area and take pictures. Works good for a battle map. But yeah, this will be kind of the template going down this way, just packed in like sardines. Gonna get a ton of graves here. I have Deliverance 1 for Xbox, but it was such a janky port that I really never enjoyed it. It was given to me as a gift, like in a swag package for when I went to E3 2018. I installed it, played it for like 10 hours, and just never really enjoyed it. And I only played it right at launch. They probably patched it a bit, but The new one's out just now, right? Just like in the last month. I've heard really good things, though. All right, everyone. It's time to wrap up Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday, we work on a map real-time live for you to learn. Watch someone who has over 3,000 of hours building maps in Dungeon Alchemist. Additionally, the streams are hosted AMA format. You can ask questions and get guidance in real time on the screen, walking you through the steps you need to solve your problems. I also take your feedback and suggestions and notate that and pass it on to the devs. We discuss upcoming, development and showcase teasers. But that's not just Mapmaker Monday. We do that on pretty much every stream. So office hours on Wednesday, which is exclusive to our Discord. It's not a multi-stream. It's only available for our Discord members. Very, very cool stream. I highly recommend you tune in. In fact, I'm going to drop a link for office hours, or could you drop a link, Atlam, for office hours so people could RSVP to it if they haven't already? Hey, Jarl Elbow, please do that for me. The following stream after Wednesday is next Saturday, and that will be the Dam stream, right? No, yep, Dam stream this upcoming Saturday. We'll showcase maps and assets from the Steam Workshop, highlight them, dig through them, reverse engineer them, teach you how they were made, answer questions, again, in real-time AMA format, provide guidance for you, and take down your suggestions and feedback. So all of the streams kind of have a similar theme, if you haven't noticed. We're here for you during the streams to provide you support in any way, shape, or form related to Dungeon Alchemist, of course. So if you're struggling with your maps, struggling with exports, maybe you want to build a multi-level map now, tune into the stream and you can get guidance in real time. But while we're not live, we highly encourage you to drop into our Discord. It's kind of the biggest amalgamation of our community. There's like over 30,000 members in our Discord. We have 2 sections in our Discord dedicated to support, the question forum and the support forum. Forum's more like general questions. Support is more like, hey, I have something broken or I can't do something and I need guidance. So you can tune in pretty much to our Discord anytime to get assistance. Alternatively, our wiki is up 24 hours a day. The wiki is a great place to find information. It's essentially a manual for Dungeon Alchemist with all sorts of walkthroughs and breakdowns of the individual menus and everything, so you can really deep dive into Dungeon Alchemist. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. It was a blast for me to be here with you today. Mapmaker Monday is, I think, my favorite stream. I don't like to pick favorites, but I enjoy building maps, and I enjoy hanging out with y'all and discussing the map and coming up with ideas for it. But also I love watching it start as nothing and evolve into like a very beautiful, detailed build. I so much enjoy this time with you all and teaching you, tips and tricks and answering your questions and providing guidance for you. So I hope you tune in the future, just so you can, learn something from these streams. In fact, I find that even our most veteran map makers tend to learn things from almost every stream. So please do yourself a favor and tune into a stream maybe once every week or two. That way you can hang out with the general cartographer community and learn a ton about Dungeon Alchemist, and even, hang out with like-minded DMs who you can bounce ideas off of for your campaign, your maps, your encounters, stat blocks, etc. Kind of a fun place to hang out. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Dag, that's impressive considering how long you've been a part of the community. Really appreciate that. Thank you everyone for being here. Again, my name is Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam. If you're kind of sitting on the fence, you're not sure if Dungeon Alchemist is for you, remember, we offer a free demo. You can download Dungeon Alchemist and try before you buy. It gives you access to one of our 10 plus biomes, the forest biome, and you can build a tavern, one of our almost 100 plus room types. So you can dive in, build a tavern, export it for print or even your virtual tabletop of choice. That way you can see how Dungeon Alchemist runs on your computer and if it's worthwhile for you to invest more time and money into. Remember, Dungeon Alchemist is a one-time purchase for a lifetime license, meaning you buy it now, you own it for life. And that includes all major updates until we leave early access. That's 5 major updates from our Kickstarter roadmap, and patching and hot fixes and stuff way beyond that. So keep in mind, you purchase Dungeon Alchemist now, you are pretty much set for life with that tool. It will work for you for a long, 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 long time. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We're going to run a quick Dungeon Alchemist themed ad, and then we're going to wrap up the stream.
But can it handle curves?
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 Dungeon Alchemist, the AI-powered map-making application for role-playing games, now comes with both round and diagonal walls. Create amazing professional maps for your players in seconds. Get it now on the Steam store.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate you so very, very much. We'll see you next time I give a damn. Back out. Bye.